Good morning everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today. So some fairly decent setups on the pound and on the dollar, and let's just kick off with Euro USD, and we'll get the pound just now. First things first is we had this channel that we looked at yesterday. Was a break yesterday, and it looks like a retest coming up. So you can see there's a confluence of support and resistance lines here, and that's pretty much in the area of 115,615 or 115,600. So if we get down to what levels we need to trade, you can see we rallied a little bit at the start, and then sell-off continued, broke through some key points, and now first 2 hours of the morning it has been pulling back. Ideally I'd like to see us pull back up to that 115,635 area, but you may find that one of these levels somewhere in this area where we are, and you can see there's a lot of interaction here around here, and that is 115,500. That could hold up price. So measured move on this is fairly large, because we're looking at this. That was a downward trend into a range or a channel, and a break should take us down. So that's targeting 114,825, but I would first look at 115. So that would be the first target I'm looking for. So there's a fairly decent setup here. Stop is above the high of yesterday. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen. Measured move here played out. So that was the first move up. Then we had the consolidation. And you can draw the consolidation any which way you want. Do it like that. So up into a cup and handle, and then a move to the upside. There is your measured move. So we've tagged it, and we're sort of coming off at the moment. So let's just get rid of this one. For me, we're looking for structure. First bit of structure that we do have is right up here. So we came back onto this level that I gave you yesterday. I said to you this is probably the most decent place to get long again, and that's exactly what happened. So straight into the measured move, and then we just basically went sideways. So there's quite a bit of data coming out today. Yeah, we've got the Fed's minutes coming out later tonight. We've got CPI in the US coming out. So I think we're probably just going to muck around until we get some of that data out. But for me, I think it's really going to be a case of just building another consolidation for another move to the upside. So sit on hands for the dollar at the moment. I think most of the moves are played out, except for the Euro USD. I think there may be potential here, but if it doesn't get moving in the European session, then just wait for the data first. Moving on to the pound Japanese yen. At the moment, we are breaking through the structure, and I just want to come to a higher time frame to show you what I'm talking about. So this is the week we've had this strong move up through the year. We then had this pullback, fairly volatile, but that is consolidation. So we have broken through some really key levels here, and this level, I'm just going to bring it down to there. So you can see there's a weekly high, there's a weekly high there. We're breaking through them, and it is really looking like it is a continuation from the previous week. So with that in mind, 8 hour is forming what looks like a bit of a double top. I would expect some kind of structure to form before it continues. Oscillators are also extremely overbought. We're having a crossover of all the moving averages, so this consolidation of the last couple of weeks is looking like what we need to pay attention to. Now, the measured move on this is fairly big. So now let's just be conservative and take it from this swing high here. And so we're looking for a target of 156,540. So what we should be doing is looking for the opportunities to buy into this. So obviously we want to buy off structure. So the first bit of structure is 153,490, and then we do have a level that is forming on the hour here. You can see how we're resisting it here, and we're finding support. So if this can hold today, 154,193, you should see a fairly strong continuation to the upside. There is quite a bit of data coming out in the UK today as well, so I would wait for that data to come out. I think it is all scheduled for either 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. No, I lie. It is 8 a.m. my time, or GMT. No, it is GMT. So 8 a.m. GMT is when you're looking for the data, and that is the monthly GDP and the manufacturing MOM. So those are the two big ones that we need to watch out for on the pound. And then obviously we've got GDP and GDP month on month and GDP year on year as well coming out. So be cautious with the pound. I think wait until that's just before the US, just as the market opens. So as they open for the pre-market actually. So just wait for that to happen, and then you should see some fireworks one way or another. I have a feeling it's going to continue consolidating and continue up to get that measured move. Lastly, Euro British pound. Still mucking around here in this consolidation area that we've been doing. You can see the level I gave you yesterday, pretty much tagged it and then came off all the way down to the bottom of the range, and now we're sort of all over the place. So difficult one to read as far as I'm concerned. That's sideways at the moment, and if we just move across, you'll see it's the hour very much sideways. We did attempt to break out to the upside, but then immediately came back into this. And you can see the 155 EMA playing a big role in that as well. So you see London breakout strategy would have worked nicely. Take your profit, and then it immediately came back and dropped below the first 7 bars and then continues the downside. So the trend is down. You can see the moving averages are all pointing down. We're below the 155. And whenever you see even a sharp move up, that often what happens is especially retail traders will think that it's going to the moon and jump in up on the high, not waiting for the retest. Often they make money, but often what happens is they think, well, this thing's going, I'm at the bottom and I'm going to go sort of capitalize as much as I can. And what happens is this, institutions and the bigger traders know that that's going on, and they know where to have their entries, and they also know where their stops should be. So I think that's still a bigger range. Be cautious of this. I think you don't really want to be chasing longs until these moving averages cross over. And the best bet that you can do, you're in a downward trend, so what you're looking for is the oscillators to group to the upside, near structure, and then you're looking for an opportunity to short. But range bound, so it's not something that I trade. We need to break and hold 0.85, or alternatively we need to break and retest 0.84760 for me to look for a trade on this pair. So that's kind of my view on Forex this morning. I think it's going to be a bit of fireworks, so pay careful attention, especially early this morning, and then later this evening as well. Remember, we've got the Fed's minutes coming out as well, so it's going to be a fairly long day if you are watching charts. Anyway, that's it for me. Hope it helps, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.